Thank you, beloved, so much for joining me today for our sermon on abundance and wealth. This is a teaching directly from the Fundamentals of Unicult, which you can get on Etsy, Unicult Supply Co. currently. The chapter that we're covering today is on page 92. And this book, although small, covers a hell of a lot of content. And I think what's really cool about it is that I have condensed all of the teachings into very simple sentences. So you can read these chapters over and over again and slowly unpack all of the meaning behind each of the sentences, because I don't over elaborate. I find it really boring in books where they have one idea and they write a whole book about that one idea and they just elaborate on that one idea, which I understood at the beginning, right? Elaboration is helpful, and I think the next edition of Fundamentals will be a little bit more elaborative. But what's really cool about the second edition is that it's almost cryptic in its simplicity and also in its condensed nature. So, as you know, if you've been following along with the sermons, as I read this page, like usually the chapters are just one page, I can do a whole half an hour sermon on what is contained in just one page. So it really does unfold, and the way that it unfolds is based on how much information is packed into each sentence, and also your interpretation of it. How you interact with the words on these pages, which are transmitted from the higher realms, from the Arcturian, it's basically, I'm an open channel to the Arcturians. I get the information about their society, and I take the information from our world and from Earth society and all the information that I've absorbed from that, and I overlay the two to create our futuristic utopian paradise. It's like I'm the bridge builder. I'm the infrastructure builder for how we get to the next phase. That's what's in this book. So let's go ahead and read this chapter. It's only one page, and then we'll talk about what it means and what and I'm just so excited about it because I really am passionate about this idea. Unicult acknowledges that wealth belongs to everyone. Monetary systems that have severely unequal distribution should either be redistributed or ignored while new ones are formed. Monetary systems are a symbolic manifestation of the unending wealth and abundance that flows through all things, and as such, if they are not employed in a healthy and positive way, they should be treated as irrelevant. Each person provides an unending wealth spring of energetic abundance to this planet, and their unique energy shall be celebrated, honored, and rewarded. Each individual shall be honored for their unique contribution to society. Food, shelter, and water shall be freely provided to all through collaborative and compassionate systems. True wealth is energy. It's how you feel each day. The quality of emotion that you embody in each moment radiates out into the world and has an effect on other people and larger society. Value shall be placed on energetic abundance, and joy shall be honored as a fundamental aspect of real and true wealth. The basic needs of all Thank you, Shelby. The basic needs of all shall be implicitly considered in any and all organizational systems. Resources shall be allocated in a way that causes the most people possible to thrive without abandoning or overlooking any person or group. In any monetary or externalized wealth-based exchange, gratitude shall be paid towards something higher and toward the physical person or system which allowed it to flow through. Gratitude shall also be constantly expressed for personal, planetary, and systematic abundance to ensure the highest light flows through any and all earth-based systems. Okay, there's a lot here. I'm going to do the sermon, and then I'll come back to the book, and we'll talk about what those words just meant. This is called The Fundamentals of Unicult. You can get it on Unicult Supply Co. on Etsy. I wrote it in collaboration with aliens. Okay. To understand wealth and abundance, we have to understand value. Value is actually one of the most important things that exists in our reality. Value and attention are inextricably linked. When we say attention is a commodity, we can actually take it even deeper and say what we value is what we pay attention to. There's a lot of co-opting of attention in our world, flashing screens and lights and noises and our endless addiction of social media. Those are ways that co-opt our attention because they're hypnotic and they actually hack the brain and they hack our consciousness in order to get us to pay attention to them. It's brainwashing. But on the deepest possible sense, and if you're breaking through addiction, you're breaking through brainwashing, what we pay attention to is what we value. We're like, oh, what's that noise? Your biological intuitive system is saying, I need to know what loud noises are because I need to protect my body because I value my body. Our consciousness has different levels. We've got our subconscious systems that operate, that keep our body safe. Then those are the systems that are hacked in order to brainwash us and to steal our attention. And then we've got our higher consciousness and our ability to really choose. And the way that you get to the point of being able to choose where your attention is going and flowing is by cutting through all of the addictive mediums, the addictive programming that exists in our world, and learning how to find peace and calm inside your own consciousness. What does this have to do with abundance and wealth? It actually has everything to do with abundance and wealth. Because once you can supersede or override or move beyond the subconscious reptilian brain, base brain limitations of addictive attention giving and spreading your attention all over the place, and once you learn the spiritual reality of be here now, of eternal presence in the moment, and of awareness of your body and your emotional body and your mind, and you learn how to still your mind, you then can actually start focusing on the things that you really care about. You can actually start having a healthier relationship to the things that you value. And once you have a healthier relationship to the things that you actually value, you become a sovereign being over that which you're giving your attention to. Our ability to cultivate a peaceful and calm mind allows us to look at our world and say, what really matters here? We are kept in a frantic state by our society. All of the TV that you watch, all of the shows, you are internalizing, you are empathetically meshing your energy with those shows. Oh my gosh, somebody got kidnapped and now they're in a fight scene and now they're getting killed and there's blood everywhere. There's a part of your brain that is actually meshing realities with that, and you are actually experiencing the physiological endocrine stress cortisol systems that are imaginary realities on the TV screen. You're actually enduring and experiencing those violences. You're actually enduring and experiencing those traumas. And we do this for entertainment. It's very strange. I do it too. I'm not saying I'm not immune to this. Like, this is part of our strange way of interacting with our attention. As we allow our attention to be co-opted, as we allow our energy bodies to be affected by things that are not actually happening to us, and as we outsource our mind in all of these different ways of commercials and advertisements and social media and movies and drama and all these things, we are literally not having the ability to own our own energy. When we own our own energy and when we're calm and we're in peace, we actually have a clearer view of reality. We actually have a clearer view of what we are meant to be doing. We have a clearer connection to our hearts. We have a clearer connection to our higher selves. We have a clearer connection to the galactic reality. We have a clearer connection to source energy and to our own motivations, our own pure energies. You are here on this planet to be you. You are here on this planet to give the gift of your unique energy. That is what you bring. That is what I honor in you. And that is what Unicult sees in you that has value. Perhaps the easiest way to understand the differentiation between value and wealth that is true abundance and that is corrupted and confused energy is simply to look through the lens of material and spiritual reality. The ego is a trauma-based entity that was created as a personality vehicle for you to exist within, for you to utilize on this trauma-based planet. Because we are going through the spiral of the third dimension into the fifth dimension, we get to work with our ego, and we also get to work with our divine reality, work with our divine self. The collaboration between our higher selves and our ego allows us to ascend the duality reality of black and white and go into the utopian reality of the infinite rainbow of possibilities. Our ego is a trauma-based entity, and it is focused on material reality. This planet is a trauma-based entity focused on material reality. The ego is confused. And we're talking about a microcosm of your own ego and the macrocosm of the larger society. The ego thinks that material reality is the only reality. The ego doesn't understand the infinite nature of abundance. The ego doesn't understand the infinite nature of spirit. And so what we're taught, what we're born into, is trauma and abuse. And we're focusing on only the physical reality with our ego. And there's so many things that when you get disconnected from the higher spiritual reality, from the higher spiritual truth, you think that reality is different than it actually is. It's a contorted view. It's a whole world of shadows because we're not actually seeing the biggest picture. We're living in a world of duality, which is not the biggest picture. So the ego thinks, I have to have physical reality. I have to have these material things, and by having these material things, I will be good. I will ascend. I will be doing the right thing. The ego also thinks that in order to get material things, they have to take them from someone else. The ego lives in a lack-based reality. The ego says, well, you have this and I have to take it from you. And if I have it and you don't have it, then I'm good and you're bad. It's a black and white duality of if you're bad, if you don't have anything, then you have to take it from someone else and then you're good and then they're bad. And there has to be this reversal. It's like this idea of the patriarchy versus the matriarchy. A lot of times people think, oh, well, if women are in power, then we're all going to be walking around like serving women. And it's like, that's just the opposite. That's just the exact same thing, but in a different, like from a different perspective, right? But the matriarchy is actually a reality where everyone has true abundance, and there isn't a hierarchy of a top-down power pyramid. So our distinction of thinking that we're living in this black and white reality where we either have or we don't, and we have to put people down, or we have to be above them, or they're above us, or this is how Earth has been operating for a very long time. All of our systems, all of our media, everything has been showing us and reinforcing this ego-based reality that is disconnected from spirit. The problem with this is that it leaves us all feeling terrible. It contributes to death, the concepts of death, and it literally is just a complete illusory reality than the one that most of the galactic entities actually exist in, which is a world of infinite abundance, peace, and eternal life. This might sound kind of fantastical to you, but as you go along the spiritual journey and as you learn how to tune into these feelings of peace, tune into these feelings of being here now and feeling into the unending possibilities of each moment, as you learn to feel into the fact that your life is eternal and that this life is temporary, but that life goes on after you die, as you look around nature and you see the infinite abundance that nature provides each of us and provides for the world, just the constant blooming of flowers and growing of trees, and there are cycles of the seasons, right? But we always have this renewal, we always have this rebirth, and death isn't the end. winter isn't the end. We can simply look at nature to see the truth of the spiritual reality. Unfortunately, in our minds, we live on this planet and we live in this reality of ego-based restriction and of lack. One of the things that I still don't have the perfect way to describe, but I hope you can understand, is that abundance is abundant. Truth is truth. Abundance is abundance. Love is love. We literally don't understand the basic understanding of these things. When someone says, I love you to someone else, usually what they mean is, I am scared. Actually, I'm scared that you're going to leave me and I want to own you and I want to possess you. And when someone says, they're thinking of, I want to be rich, I want to be rich. What they're thinking of is money. And money is actually a system of lack. You cannot have a system of abundance that is rooted in lack. It just doesn't work. It will never work. This is a fundamental spiritual reality. So what can we do? We can look from the highest reality and we can bring it down to earth and we can say, wow, this whole system is really fucked up. What's going on here? How can we even begin to think that all of this is a good thing? And then you can start to feel depressed and disconnected from your friends and family and from the systems at play. But the best way to interact with these things is to bring the highest reality and somehow work to integrate it into the you're taking the fifth dimensional reality and you're working to integrate it into the third dimensional reality. So what can we actually do? How can we actually continue to live our lives in this reality when we know, like, our monetary systems are absolutely insane? When I first started meditating on abundance and on wealth and the age of truth, the age of truth is the age that we're in right now. What is the truth? The truth is that each of us have equal amounts of energy. Each of us have equal amounts of divine contribution to this planet. What does that mean fundamentally? That means that each of us has a right to equal amounts of abundance and wealth. Your unique spirit has just as much potential as anybody else. Your unique spirit is as pure and as important as any other person's unique spirit. You have just as much power as me. I have just as much power as you. We each have just as much power as a CEO, as a homeless person. The social conventions that are overlaid over the top of our reality, not just with money, but with titles, with status, with socioeconomic and race and all these other ways of looking, are not real indicators of power or success. This is a social reality that we're all buying into. And it has weight, it has importance, because we're all influenced by it, and it's dictating our energetic reality. When we're talking about true abundance, we have to try to understand, what is it that we really are after? What is it that we really want when we say we want to be rich? This is the key to manifestation. What is the feeling of being rich? And the idea of the feeling state being the hack to getting the material goods is just like a baby step in the right direction. Because if you want to be rich, if you want to have money, if you want to have a big boat, if you want to have a bigger TV, if you want to have a bigger house, if you want to live without bills, if you want to live without stress, if you want to live where you don't have to work for somebody else, if you want to literally break out of the capitalist system, you have to ask yourself, why? Why? Really, just think about it for a second. Why do you want money? And you say, well, it's because I deserve it. Yes, that's absolutely true. Your spirit is a divine spirit. And because we are not appreciated in this world, a lot of times we end up feeling like we need to prove ourselves in our society. We need to prove ourselves within the confines of societal success. Say, well, I know that I'm valuable, so I have to get this amount of followers, and I have to get this amount of money, and I have to get this type of job in order to show the world that I am valuable. You don't need to do those things to show the world that you're valuable. You already are valuable. Does society understand and appreciate and respect that? No, but that's what Unitopia is. That's what we're working toward. And the way we work toward it is by recognizing each of our own divine beauty and our divine right and our divine gifts that we're bringing to the world, and standing up and saying, I don't need to have a fancy job in order to have value. I don't need to have a lot of money in order to have value. I have value because I'm alive. I have value because I'm a human being living on planet Earth, and that's enough. Okay, so you want to prove yourself. You want to prove that you have value because you know deep down in your heart you have value. You don't need money to do that. You don't need social status to do that. You are a valuable person. You need meditation to prove that. You need your own self-confidence. You need boundaries to do that with people who try to take you down. You need community to do that, so you can have people around you who support you for who you are and who see your divine energy and your divine gifts beyond the material reality, because that's eternal. Okay, what's the second reason why you want to have money? Oh, to be comfortable so you don't have to spend your whole life working for someone else. Yes, that is absolutely your divine right. It is absolutely our divine right to not be enslaved to systems that steal our time and energy. When you work for somebody else, what are you doing? Are you just standing there all day? Are you giving your time away? Are you giving your labor away? Are you trading the powers of your mind? Are you trading the powers of your body? Got time to lean, got time to clean. Are you a slave to your boss, physically and mentally, during the hours that you were at work? Probably yes, and that's fucked up. But what's really happening there? What's really happening is that your job is literally stealing your life energy. Your life energy. Why do you think you're so tired when you get off work? Why are you just like exhausted to be at work? Or you're at work and you're just exhausted, and then you get off work and you feel free and happy and you're like, wow, I thought I was going to fall asleep, but now I have a million ideas. Because when you're at work, your life energy is literally being stolen for some bullshit material digital number so that you can pay your bills. Okay, that's a crime. That's a cosmic crime. And we can stand up and we can say, this is a cosmic crime. We have enough resources to clothe, feed, and house and give healthcare to every single human on this planet. And the more we align our energy with that, the more entitled we are to things like universal basic income, which is a whole other topic, a little bit flawed there, and we'll go into that in a minute. The third reason why you might want to be rich or make money is because you think it will make you happy. Obviously, having your life energy back will make you happy, right? Your life energy is your divine right, and you need that back, and to have that back would make you happy. That's why when people say money can't buy you happiness, they really don't know what they're talking about, because we deserve to have our life energy, and our life energy is necessary for our happiness and our well-being, right? And the ability to supersede these toxic systems of modern slavery. And also, systems of slavery exist in worse ways beyond the economic system. Still, there are people who are enslaved for different reasons, and it's fucked up, and it's not okay in any situation. This is obviously a lesser form of slavery, but our time and our life energy is actually being stolen from us. Okay, so the third reason is you don't just want to be like free from working, but you want to be like rich. You want to be like so rich. You just want to have like boats and yachts and a helicopter, and you just want to like have enough money to just spend on anything. And I will argue that you are reaching in this case for a false version of happiness. You're reaching for a physical reality assumption that physical reality is what gives you your happiness, is what gives you your fulfillment. Physical reality is not eternal. Physical reality can be taken from you. A boat can be exploded, right? A house can be burned down. All these things can be taken from you. So your idea of chasing happiness in physical reality, no matter how much money you have or, what your desire is to get that money, you have to understand that your desire to have money, if you really look at it, is actually a desire to be happy. And in some ways it's valid, but in some ways, once you get past a certain point, you have to understand that as you chase money and as you chase material items, you will come to see time and time again that these physical material realities are not eternal and they will constantly be taken from you. Some people in my family were a little bit attached to their physical reality, and they had all their money taken, and they ended up, trying to build this house, and it was all for show. It was all for showing the world, having their, to show their value to their friends and family, and then also to have this material abundance that was supposed to represent their happiness. And what happened? They ended up getting divorced because their whole reality, their whole interfacing with the world was based on trying to get and hold things which are not eternal. There's nothing wrong with doing this. It's just that it's very painful. And you're going to be shown over and over again that when you attach to things which are not eternal, when you put your whole life happiness on these material realities, you will constantly be shown that that's not the right thing to do, that that's not the real reality. And you will constantly be triggered deep in your heart to find out that you cannot cling to physical reality as a mechanism of happiness. What happens, unfortunately, is that when people cling to physical reality as a mechanism of happiness and then it gets taken away from them in an attempt to show them that it's not eternal, they end up taking it personally, and it feeds into their ego, and they think, oh no, well maybe I'm not good enough and I just did a bad job, and then they try to do it all again, and they get even more vicious with it. When the universe takes something away from you, takes physical reality away from you, when they ask you to start all over again with money, or when you lose your job, or any of these things, the universe is asking you to check in with your value system. Your value system is what causes you to do everything. Your value system is what causes you to pay attention to what you pay attention to. What do you truly value? Are you truly valuing the material reality, which is not eternal, or are you trying to use the material reality to attain a spiritual truth? The spiritual truth of happiness, joy, and freedom can be obtained through non-physical mediums. Sure, you need all your basic needs met. Is it easy to attain happiness, joy, and freedom if you're homeless? If you don't have any food to eat? No. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So when we're talking about abundance and wealth, true abundance is emotional. It's emotional. And I have gotten to a point where, yes, I have my basic needs met, so that's a privilege. I work a job, I trade my life energy for money, and I have what I need, and that's amazing because it allows me to go beyond. I don't necessarily agree with it. I would rather spend my time doing this. I would rather spend my time contributing in ways that are through my unique soul rather than as a robot for a corporation. Sure. It's a disservice to the world that I don't have enough money to spend my days free doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But I have my basic needs met, and so now I can start to really resonate on the fact that I don't need any more money than I have. What I need really are artistic tools, right? And I need enough money to help my community, to help my friends, and to help my family, and to help Unicult get to where we're going all together. Do I need money to prove myself? No. Do I need money to have a flashy lifestyle any more than I already, flash it up for y'all? No. I feel perfectly happy. Am I rich? No. By some people's standards, probably yes. I'm grateful for what I have. But the problem with money is that it never ends. I've known some very wealthy people who have not felt secure. I've known some very wealthy people who have not felt wealthy because they are constantly looking for more because they haven't learned how to have peace inside their heart, peace inside their consciousness. Okay, so when we're talking about capitalism and we're talking about monetary systems, what is the way forward? What is the way to our future utopian paradise? We have 3 different potential options to override, to align our energy with the divine truth. What's happening is we're coming in from a totally corrupted shadow reality of ego-based duality. This is Earth. We're over here. We're out of timelines. We're like kind of these like orphan children in the universe, and everyone's like, what is going on over there? They don't even know up from down. Which isn't even, what they would say, because that's a duality. But they would say they don't know what's going on. They're totally trapped in their own minds. We are aligning now with the universe, and cosmic light is radiating down on Earth through our sun and through our own internal eternal suns, which are our hearts, and through our pineal glands, our third eyes, and aliens are here like me, and aliens are here connecting with you, and angels are here, and there's a new connection to like Jesus and spirituality and religion, and there's a revival of spiritual energy happening right now. It's subtle, but you're going to see it continue to happen, the whole New Age movement and everything else. What is this the result of? This is because we are actually entering into a cosmic alignment. I think it's 27,000 years. We enter into a cosmic alignment with source energy where illusion can no longer be maintained. It's just the age of truth. It's just pure light. This is the new age. This is the age of Aquarius. Pure light is coming in, and what happens when you turn on the light and there's monsters all around? You see them for what they are. Oh, that's just a coat rack. Oh, that's just that was just my washing machine, And you turn on the light and you see things for what they really are, and you're not going to trip on things anymore. Light is information. Light is knowledge. So we're in the age of truth. What happens when we turn the light on in capitalism? We're like, whoa, I'm not going to work for somebody else. I'm not going to let somebody else steal my life energy. I'm not going to just like spend my whole life doing something I don't actually want to do for little numbers on a screen. I deserve all my basic needs met. We have the ability to do that. Oh, billionaires are leeching off of the world and trying to corrupt the entire system in their favor. Oh, the entire government is an oligarchy and they're just paid for by lobbyists, and all of the laws don't even protect us. Oh. That's what light does. So when we turn on the light on the capitalist system, we see that it's just a total shit show and things have to change. How are things going to change? I used to think there was only 2 ways, but I figured out a third one, and the third one is I think how it's going to happen, and it's pretty exciting. I'm happy to tell you what I think is going to happen to our monetary systems. Because our monetary systems are not in alignment with truth, because they're a total illusion based on enslavement of our life energy, they stand no chance in the age of truth. We have the absolute right and entitlement and also inevitability of transforming capitalism into an entirely new system beyond socialism, beyond communism, beyond anything we've ever conceived of, to true value and true care of each individual. This is a utopian model, and we will see it as soon as we're ready to see it. It won't be for a while, though. But capitalism they have no ground to stand on in the age of truth, because it's all rooted in deception. It's all rooted in lies, and it's all rooted in ego. So as we align our energy into the age of truth, and we turn on the light on capitalism and true abundance, like what did I say earlier? You have just as much power as anyone who's wildly successful. Your power and my power are the same. We each have intrinsic value, equal intrinsic value, equal and unique intrinsic value to this planet. So that's the truth. So our monetary system has to reflect that truth. How is that going to happen? 1, all the rich people say, oh, you know what? I don't deserve all this money. Who am I to be a billionaire? Who am I to hoard all the wealth and to make all these people my slaves. I can't believe I was doing that. Here, everybody, here's all my money. How likely is that to happen? Not very likely. The only thing that makes that kind of likely to happen is the fact that there really aren't that many billionaires, right? All we need to do is convince like 100 people that they should do that. Are those 100 people going to be convinced of that if they haven't been convinced of that already? Probably not. Their egos are probably totally wrapped up in their identity as billionaires and as their divine right to control the entire fucking planet. It's psychopathic and it's sick. Okay, they're probably not going to come around. The second way is for all the people to say, I can see what's going on here and I refuse to work these jobs. I refuse to participate in this system. Imagine if every single person who isn't a billionaire said, you know what? I don't believe in money anymore. I'm just gonna do what I do. I'm gonna share what I have, and I'm gonna expect other people to share what they have with me. That would be pretty chaotic. And also, when we're talking about this type of shift, even though it's true, we're talking about billions of people, right, having to make that shift. So it's either 100 billionaires making the shift or billions of regular people making the shift. And those are the only two things I could think of that might happen. But the third option, and this is the coolest thing, and I'm watching it happen this year, is called Miraculous Wealth Redistribution. How does this happen? This happens in the sense that like people are like messing around and laughing and investing in Dogecoin, and then what happens? Then they get rich investing in something that was a joke. And the institutions and the financial realities and all the different possible abilities of our currency are becoming fractured and becoming infinitely abundant. Okay, so it used to just be like you had to write a check to somebody or give them cash. But now what happens? We have Venmo, we have PayPal, we have Cash Store, we have Patreon, we have Etsy, we have all these different ways for people to exchange money and sell their goods and create systems outside of the main institutional systems. And we have cryptocurrency, we have tokenized coins, we have all these different things happening. And the systems are trying their best to like monitor and contort and control and keep track of all these things. And sure, they're doing a good job right now. But inevitably, our future of currency is going to reflect the truth of our spiritual reality, which is that we all have equal amounts of value, we all have equal amount of gifts for this world, and we all deserve infinite abundance. We are moving toward a post-scarcity world. We are moving toward the idea that the lack-based systems are not serving us anymore, and we're moving toward the understanding that the spiritual reality can be overlaid and interlocked with physical reality so that we all have all of our basic needs met. Miraculous wealth redistribution is our right. It is our divine right. And as you follow your heart with money and with abundance, I was raised to say, do what you love and the money will follow. And like, that was bullshit. Like, oh, I'm selling my labor. Like, that's not what I love, right? But that actually is going to end up being true. Because what you love and what makes you happy raises your energy. It makes you bright. It clears your connection to your divine self, to your higher self, and allows your higher self to come in and radiate out your authentic truth. As you do what you love, the money will inevitably follow in the age of truth, in the age of miraculous wealth redistribution. If you're laughing about Dogecoin, for instance, and you're like, okay, this is a funny, like, joke. Jokes have value. Jokes are infinitely sustainable. Keep track of the trends. Keep track of what's fun. Keep track of what's funny. Keep track of what makes you feel good to do. And do your best to stop focusing on lack-based systems. If you can simply ignore them entirely, that's ideal. Obviously, that's a privilege because you probably have to make money to live, unfortunately, but that will not be true forever. True wealth is energy. It's how you feel every day, how you feel in each moment. I'm somebody who is really obsessed with material rewards. I want glory. I want fame. I want trophies. I buy myself trophies because I want to show in the physical reality that what I'm doing matters. I want followers. I want my bank account to be high. I want pretty clothes, and I want a big house. I want people to love me. I want these things because it's like what I was saying before, the number one thing. I want to show the world. I want the world to recognize that I have value. But the more that I understand that I have intrinsic value and that the material reality simply is an illusion and oftentimes here to gaslight us about our actual divine truth, the more I realize that my energy, the quality of my life, is my reward. The quality of my life is my reward. And what is the quality of my life? Is it having a bunch of material items? No, because I could have a bunch of material items and have a bunch of anxiety every day. The quality of my life is the peace that I learned how to obtain through meditation. The quality of my life is the peace of surrendering to the divine energy and the divine plan. The quality of my life is surrender from the ego-based reality of wanting to control my life and wanting to prove myself to other people with material goods. And the peace of my life is simply praying every day and resonating on my own energy and having pure connections with people who truly value me for who I truly am, and setting boundaries with people who can't understand who I am. The true value, it's 11:11, the true value of my life, the true quality of my energy, the true quality of my conscious mind in each moment is my reward. It is my proof that I am doing something correct. It is my proof that I am living in alignment with my truth. It is my proof that I am what I deserve. I am what I deserve. And when you are what you deserve, you realize that nothing else matters. The physical reality just doesn't even matter. Beyond the part of, having your basic needs met. I want to keep bringing it back to that because you deserve to have your basic needs met. And the only reason why I can be in the peace that I'm in is because I have my basic needs met. Energetic abundance is truth. When we acknowledge the energetic abundance of each person, if you have someone in your life who's like an absolute angel and they just give you so much energetic abundance, that is highly valued, right? And you can say, thank you for being such a positive energy in my life. Thank you for raising my spirits. Thank you for showing me the light. Thank you for showing me the way. This energetic abundance connects me to my energetic abundance, and that is what I value. When we as a society learn to value the energetic abundance of each individual, rather than the material abundance, which is like how many legs on a chair can I put on, like factory workers, or how many numbers in a spreadsheet can I type in, computer workers. That's not real value. Real value is the energetic abundance. The basic needs of all need to be implicitly considered in any and all organizational system, and any monetary or externalized wealth-based exchange needs to have the gratitude of the divine in it. And this is something that we don't do. On our money, we say, in God we trust. I think that the powers that be know that we have to, in order to have any kind of system of abundance, it has to be connected to the divine energy, to the divine source. And so they've corrupted it, and we think money is our God here, which is just so funny because it's literally not even a real thing. It's just a conception. Whereas the highest energy that creates us all and flows through us all can be felt if you go into meditation. And you don't need other people or systems of thought to connect you to the highest energy. You can actually feel it with your own body and with your own heart if you're brave enough to trust your own intuition and brave enough to trust your own feelings rather than that of society or what other people tell you is true. If you can be brave enough to feel the divinity that flows within you, and you can be brave enough to feel the divinity of your life, and you can be brave enough to trust that all the things that are happening in your life are not because of you, but because of something higher, you will ascend a certain realm, and you will ascend into a higher realm of being, of a higher level of peace, a higher level of abundance. I don't know how else to say that. I mean, all of Unicult is very rational and very reasonable, and it all makes logical sense up until the point of you just have to listen to your own heart to connect with the divine. And that is like the jumping point of the ego rationality of all of Unicult teachings are like this ego rationality, and then you get to the top of it, you understand it all, and you have to make that leap into the irrational, because what is the rational, what is the logical? It's just the ego. And if you just follow the ego, it will just spin you round and around and around in this portal, and you'll get so confused and so lost until you make the leap into the irrational, into the pure abundance of the divine spirit, into faith-based trust that everything is divine. And once you make that faith-based leap, the entire world changes, and your entire approach to life changes, and you actually find divine peace and divine love. That's really where you find it. So I can hold your hand through all of these logical things, but once we get to this cliff of true belief, you have to make that jump. When you make that jump, you make that leap to trusting your own internal feelings and feeling into your own connection with the divine and your own relationship with your higher power, whatever it is. You can literally put any higher power you want in the sky. It can be like a fish with a lion head and like a million hands that all hold things that you love, like it doesn't matter. Like whatever your conception of something higher is, make it perfect. You have that power. Like that is why we say like we are God, because like we have the ability to connect with that energy. As we take that leap into faith, we understand that all things are due to this divine energy. All these manifestations of energetic situation, of electromagnetic radiance, of the alignment and of the harmony and of the unity and the simulation experience of the matrix reality that we're all walking around co-creating is all divine. It's all in divine harmony. And the only way that we can truly tap into the abundance of the universe and the abundance of spirit is through this divine praise. I don't know, I can't explain it anymore because it's not logical, but it's true. And so through divine praise and through divine gratitude, we actually unlock the highest reality of our abundance. And that's when we see the truth of reality. We escape the ego-based, logic-based, shadow-based, competition-based, black versus white, duality reality, and we ascend into the eternal truth of reality, which is an unending rainbow of unique energy that each has incredible value. The last thing I want to talk on is manifestation, and if you're in an impoverished state, how you can manifest higher abundance. I want to say that for the most part, the idea of manifesting material abundance and the idea of creating material abundance with your mind and with your thoughts and through spiritual means isn't gonna work. Nobody else really thinks like this. Like all my friends continue to say like, oh, if I just keep aligning, like the money will follow. If I just keep aligning, the money will follow. But what I found personally is that as I align, the money doesn't follow. I leave the money behind because the money isn't real. This is a lack-based system. So as you align your energy and as you become a more spiritual being, you're not necessarily going to be attracting more money, because that's like saying, oh, I'm going to attract more abuse, And money, sure, it's just an energy. It's neutral, but it's not neutral. Money is a system of enslavement. Okay? So as you try to manifest money through spiritual wisdom, I don't necessarily think that that's going to work. I can tell you what has worked for me for manifesting money, which is play by the rules of the ego-based society. I'm sorry to say, but your spiritual progression isn't going to give you the reward of something that isn't actually rewarding, of an illusion. So as you align your energy, you might see the truth of reality. You might be able to unlock the insecurities and heal all the, the ways that you are trying to prove yourself with money, and that will alleviate some of your money blocks. But in order to manifest money, you kind of just have to play the money game. I literally work a job where I make documents for a corporation, does Unicult bring me a bunch of money? No. Could it? Sure. If I played the money game with it, if I tried to manipulate and bamboozle everybody and make them feel like they're less and like we need money to help them be more, the way that cults have worked in the past. Money does come into Unicult, and we put it into Uniacres, and we put it into building the store and everything, but it's by no means a lot of money. And that's not an accident. I mean, it's like I could play the rules, play the game of money with Unicult and make it much more abundant, but that's not what Unicult is for. Unicult is for spiritual freedom, right? It's not for some ego-based reality. So how do you manifest the physical reality that you want? Yes, meditate. Yes, clear your energy. And then enter back into the world of money making and do what makes money. Observe the system. What is the best way to make money? I resisted having a job for a long time, but guess what? When you have a job, you get a regular paycheck. Is this ideal? Is this what you want to hear? No. But the entire capitalist system of money is ego-based corruption. I don't think you should blame yourself for still needing a job to make money or not having enough money or anything like that. It has nothing to do with the quality of your spirit. It has nothing to do with the quality of your contributions on this planet. It has nothing to do with your gifts and your value as a human being. It is merely your ability to participate in a broken capitalist system that rewards certain traits. Whiteness, maleness, following an educational path, etc. Yeah, you can do all those things and you can make money. As we move forward, the best thing you can do is make sure that you're taken care of energetically, and that includes getting your basic needs met, and fight for the divine right for universal basic income. Fight for the divine right of your basic needs being met. Fight for the divine right that you do not want to enter into predatory contracts with corporations that literally steal your life energy. Stand up for the truth of reality, which is that you deserve to be an autonomous free spirit and you deserve to reap the benefits of the societal systems that we can potentially build that will reward all of us. If you want to manifest money, play the money game, sure. But if you want to manifest true wealth, follow your heart, follow your spirit, and do everything you can to ignore and resist the ego-based toxic structures of capitalism. And align your energy with true progress, with true divine care, with empathy for yourself and for others. And I said I would talk about universal basic income, and I've mentioned it a few times, and I want to mention that this is not just a clean slate, universal basic income is going to solve all of our problems. No. Billionaires want us to have universal basic income so that we do not revolt, okay? So that we do not start pushing against the system, so that we don't simply break away from the system because it's not serving us. But this is already happening because they didn't implement universal basic income. They're too greedy. If they had given us all $2,000 a month at the beginning of the pandemic, what would have happened? People wouldn't necessarily go back to work, but already people are not going back to work, and they don't even have the money necessarily to do so. They just say, you know what? I'm not going to stand for this. I'm not going to be here all day working a fast food job for $7 an hour. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of my life energy. Universal basic income is flawed because a lot of times it allows the billionaires to keep reaping the benefits. One of the ways that is proposed for universal basic income is to give us all money and then take away health insurance, take away any other I heard it on talk radio once. Out of control entitlement programs. Out of control entitlement programs. Yeah, we're all entitled to food stamps. I don't care how much money you make, you're entitled to food stamps. I don't care how much money you make, you're entitled to having your rent paid. I don't care how much money you make or don't make, we're all entitled to these things. That being said, if the money actually makes us poorer and actually makes us so we actually don't have the support of other systems, it's not actually helpful. There's a lot of ways in which universal basic income is a trap. It absolutely has to be paired with miraculous wealth redistribution. However that ends up happening. But we cannot have the people having nothing or very little while we have the 1% having hoarding wealth and hoarding power and all of these things. We don't need to worry about it too much because, like I said, the age of truth is simply turning the light on, and we're all going to see the inequality and realize that it's not actually true. We're going to see through the social facade of all of these things. And as we see that it's not true, we're going to start to not participate in the systems in the same way. Universal basic income is a great stepping stone. I think as we automate systems with robots and with AI and with other forms, and we also realize that a lot of jobs that we're doing don't actually need to be done because they're just creating more predatory energy, like advertising and, all these different ways and jobs that are actually not contributing value to our society, but they're actually draining our life energy as a society. Hopefully those jobs will start to disappear as well. So I just wanted to clarify that. And just know that you as a person have a divine right to abundance, to unlimited abundance. You as a person are unlimited value just by existing. You literally could go lay in a field and look at the clouds, and you have just as much power as anybody else. You are contributing your life energy to this planet, and for that I thank you. For that I praise you. For that I say thank you for being on planet Earth with me, because your alignment with your true spirit, with your true heart, is changing reality. It's changing your life. It's changing my life. It's changing all of our lives to be more of a utopian paradise where our divine rights are given to us, because there is no other thing that can happen except that truth can be truth, abundance can be abundant, and true value can reign. Let's do a closing prayer. That was such a beautiful sermon. I hope we covered it all. I think we did. Spirit of Uni, we call you here to bless each and every viewer. We call you here to create the systems of monetary exchange that serve us. We call you here to bring miraculous wealth redistribution into all of our lives so that we no longer have to worry about our basic needs being met. We call you to help us see through the illusion of these greed-based, toxic, ego-based systems that no longer serve us. And we ask you to show us the true progression of innovation and value that values each person and each person's life energy on this planet, so that we can be free to ascend into a utopian paradise of light and love. Uni bless. If you are a Unicult member, you can go over to the Discord server and you can join us for Uni Brunch. You can hop on voice chat and tell us about what your day is like, talk about the sermon. And if you're not yet a Unicult member, you can get your application on Unicult Supply Co. And it will look like this. I'll mail it to you. And there's a 4-page application inside of here. It's got a wax seal that you'll get in the mail. And you can fill it out and you'll get the link to the Discord server and a whole bunch of training about what it means to be a Unicult member. Thank you so much. Uni bless.